I watched the pen tremble in your hand as you signed those papers, the ink bleeding into the fibers of the page, just as the exhaustion has bled into your soul. My precious child, I have seen the way your heart hammers against your ribs like a trapped bird when the mail arrives, or when the phone rings with a number you have come to dread. I was there in the quiet, sterile hallways of the courthouse where you felt so small, so invisible, and so profoundly alone. I saw the way they looked at you, those who think they hold your future in their hands, those who use words like weapons and laws like cages. But I am here to tell you something that the world cannot understand. The highest court in the universe is not made of marble and wood, and its judge does not sleep. I am the Ancient of Days, your father, and I have stepped into the courtroom of your life. The specific injustice you are facing, that heavy weight labeled Case 1468 in the archives of your tears, has not escaped my notice. You have stayed awake until the early hours of the morning, calculating numbers that never seem to add up, wondering how you will protect your family or your reputation when the tide seems to be pulling you under. You feel as though you are standing on a crumbling ledge, looking down at a chasm of financial ruin and public shame. But look at me. Lift your eyes from the documents and the digital screens. I am the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, and more than that, I am the one who owns the truth. There is a shift happening in the invisible realm even as you read these words. I am moving the hearts of people you have not even met. I am causing files to be found, memories to be jogged, and lies to crumble under the weight of their own hollow nature. You have felt lonely in this fight, thinking that no one sees the integrity you have maintained while others were cutting corners. I saw it. I saw every moment you chose the hard right over the easy wrong. I saw every silent prayer you breathed when you thought I was silent. My silence was not absence. It was the focused preparation of a master architect. I am building a foundation for your restoration that no man can tear down. The anxiety that has been your constant companion, that cold knot in your stomach, I am dissolving it now with the warmth of my presence. You do not have to fight this battle with your own strength anymore. I have appointed a divine advocate for you, one who speaks a language of grace that silences the accuser. The money you fear is gone. I am the source, not the resource. I am opening windows of heaven that you did not even know existed. You will look back on this time of trial not as the end of your story, but as the moment your true heritage was revealed. I am bringing justice not just to your bank account or your legal standing, but to your very spirit. I am healing the wounds of being misunderstood. I am wiping away the stain of false accusations. You are my beloved, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper. This is not a vague promise, this is my decree. The gavel has already fallen in the heavens. The verdict is vindicated. Feel the pressure leaving your chest. Breathe in my peace, for it is the atmosphere of your new season. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a child of the King, and the King is presiding over your case today. Every tear you shed has been collected and turned into the very fuel for your breakthrough. The people who try to pull you down will watch as I lift you up, not for their destruction, but for my glory to be seen through your resilience. Rest now, truly rest. Let the papers sit on the desk. Let the phone stay silent. I am working behind the scenes, untangling the knots that you could not reach. I am your shield, your reward, and your very present help in trouble. The miracle is not just coming, it has already begun its journey to your door. Trust in the timing of the one who created time itself. I remember the night you sat on the floor, surrounded by envelopes, feeling the walls close in. I was the whisper in the wind that told you to keep going. I am the strength that held your spine straight when you wanted to collapse. I am now turning the hearts of your adversaries. Like the sun burning through the thickest fog, my truth is rising over your situation. the unfairness that has haunted you for months, the way they misrepresented your intentions, the way they took what was not theirs, is being weighed in my scales. And my scales always balance. I am restoring to you the years the locusts have eaten. I am returning the peace that was stolen. You will walk through the doors of that office or that courthouse with a dignity that does not come from your own confidence, but from the knowledge that I walk beside you. You are never alone. Not in the struggle and certainly not in the victory. The light is breaking, my child. Can you see it? It is the dawn of your deliverance. The shadow of case 1468 is fading because I have cast my light upon it. No legal maneuver, no crooked scheme, and no financial shortage can withstand the movement of my hand. I am your provider, your protector, and your ultimate justice. Be still and know that I am God. Your victory is not just a possibility, it is an inheritance. I am clearing your name. I am filling your storehouses. I am surrounding you with favor like a shield. This battle was never yours to win alone, and now I am finishing it for you. As you stand before the heavy, polished doors of the chamber, I want you to feel the weight of my hand upon your shoulder. The cold marble under your feet and the sterile scent of the hallways are but temporary backdrops to a drama that is being rewritten by the author of truth. You have carried the burden of this dispute like a stone in your pocket, one that has worn a hole through your joy and your rest. I have seen the way your hands trembled when the mail arrived, the way your heart skipped a beat at every ringing phone, fearing another setback, another lie, or another demand. But look now at the faces of those who have opposed you. They rely on their dossiers and their clever rhetoric, yet they do not see the invisible counselor standing at your right hand. I am the one who uncovers the things hidden in the dark. I am the one who troubles the sleep of the dishonest until they can no longer carry the weight of their own deception. Even now, in a filing cabinet they thought was secure, and in a digital trail they believed was erased, I am breathing upon the evidence. I have prompted a memory in a witness you haven't spoken to in years. I have caused a clerk to notice a discrepancy that was previously overlooked. The world calls it a coincidence, but you will know it is my providence. I remember the night in October when you sat on the edge of your bed, head in your hands, asking how much longer you could endure the character assassination. I heard you whisper that your name was all you had left, and you felt it being dragged through the mud of public opinion and legal jargon. I tell you today, your name is written in the palms of my hands, and no earthly pen can strike it out. I am restoring the luster to your reputation. The very people who whispered behind your back will soon see you vindicated in the light of day. This is not just about a settlement or a verdict. It is about the reclamation of your soul's quietness. I am reaching into the past, into those moments where you felt small and defenseless against the machinery of an unfair system. I am reversing the momentum of the strike. Where there was a drain on your finances, I am preparing a reservoir. Where there was a hollow ache in your chest from the betrayal of a trusted partner, I am pouring in a vintage of comfort that the world cannot understand. You have been like a tree in a harsh winter, stripped of its leaves and battered by the wind, yet your roots have gone deep into the soil of my faithfulness. Now, the season is shifting. The sap is rising. The buds of your new beginning are already forming, invisible to the naked eye but certain in the spirit. Do not fear the cross-examination or the cold gaze of the adjudicator. I have already gone before you into the room. I have sat at the table. I have whispered into the conscience of the judge. You are not fighting for victory. You are walking from a victory that has already been secured in the heavenly courts. I am the God who sees Hagar in the desert and Joseph in the pit, and I am the God who sees you in this sterile office. The documents that seemed like mountains of condemnation are being revealed as nothing more than chaff in the wind. I am the great reverser. I am the one who turns the tables in the temple of justice. I am looking at the ledger of your life, seeing every hour of sleep you lost, every meal you couldn't finish because of the knot in your stomach, and every dollar that was diverted from your family's future to pay for this defense. I am calculating the interest on your suffering. My repayment is not measured in currency alone, but in a peace that surpasses all understanding, in a strength that will make you a pillar for others who are being oppressed. You will not come out of this smelling like smoke. You will come out with a testimony that will bridge the gap between despair and hope for many. Your story is becoming a map for the lost, a signpost that points to the reality that justice is not a human invention, but a divine attribute. I am weaving the loose threads of this conflict into a tapestry of triumph. The very weapons formed against you are being melted down to create the crown of your endurance. Feel the tension leaving your neck and shoulders. Breathe in the atmosphere of my presence. The room you are about to enter is not a place of defeat. It is the thrashing floor where the lies are separated from the truth. I am the wind that blows the husks away. I am the fire that refines the gold. You are my gold, refined by the heat of this trial, coming forth purer and more resilient than ever before. I am deepening your capacity to receive the abundance I have stored up for you. This delay was not a denial, it was a preparation. I had to enlarge your heart so that you could contain the magnitude of the blessing that follows this breakthrough. The architect of the scheme against you believes they have covered every track, but they have forgotten that I am the light of the world, and no shadow can hide from me. I have seen the private meetings where your downfall was discussed, and I have laughed at the futility of their plans. For as they were digging a pit for you, they were unwittingly preparing their own stumbling block. I am bringing forth a messenger, someone from the periphery of your life, who holds the key that will unlock the final door of this prison. This individual has been moved by a sudden, inexplicable urge to speak the truth, a compulsion they cannot ignore because I have placed it in their spirit. You will see the look of confusion on your opponent's face when their own foundations begin to crumble. It will not be by your might or your power, but by my spirit that the truth is laid bare. I am also healing the hidden wounds, the way this battle made you doubt your own worth and your own discernment. I am speaking over those wounds. You are wise. You are capable. You are chosen. The time of being overlooked and undervalued is over. I am positioning you in a place of influence where your integrity will be your greatest asset. The resources that were withheld will be returned with a divine increase, allowing you to breathe again, to dream again, and to provide for your house with a generosity that reflects my own. I am restoring the rhythm of your life, removing the frantic pace of crisis, and replacing it with the steady heartbeat of my grace. You will sleep like a child tonight, knowing that the Lion of Judah is standing guard over your future. This is the hour where the tide turns. Can you feel the shift in the current? The waters that once threatened to drown you are now carrying you toward the shore of your destiny. I am with you in the silence between the questions. I am with you in the space between the heartbeats. You are surrounded, not by enemies, but by a cloud of witnesses and an army of angels who are even now enforcing the decrees of heaven on your behalf. There is no power on earth that can veto my favor. There is no authority that can overrule my grace. You are held. You are protected. You are loved beyond measure. Behold, I am the great advocate who enters the room before you ever step foot across the threshold. I have heard the gavel fall in the realms of the Spirit before the earthly judge even lifts their hand. For too long, you have been defined by the accusations of those who see only the surface, those who have sought to use your kindness as a weakness and your silence as a confession. But I have been keeping the records. Every tear you shed in the privacy of your prayer closet was a seed of evidence planted in the soil of my justice. I am now calling for the harvest of your vindication. Do not fear the letters that arrive in the mail or the notifications that make your heart race. I am rewriting the narrative of your life. Where there was a debt that felt insurmountable, I am revealing a hidden provision. Where there was a lie that threatened to tarnish your legacy, I am shining the light of truth so brightly that the shadows of gossip will have nowhere to hide. You have walked through a season of being misunderstood, of being overlooked, and of being treated as though you were less than the royalty I created you to be. But the king is in the room now. I am stepping into the boardrooms, the courtrooms, and the living rooms where decisions about your life have been made behind closed doors. I am the one who opens what no man can shut and shuts what no man can open. I am speaking to the hearts of the pharaohs who have held your progress captive, and I am commanding them to let my child go. You will see a sudden shift in the demeanor of your adversaries. Those who were once arrogant will become silent. Those who were once dismissive will seek your favor. This is not because of your own striving, for you have been weary and your strength has been spent. This is because the weight of my glory is now resting upon your cause. I am your defense attorney, and my fee has already been paid in full. I am bringing forth your righteousness like the noonday sun. Think back to the moment you felt the most cheated, the moment when the unfairness of the world felt like a physical weight on your chest. I was there. I was counting the cost, and because I am a God of restitution, I am not merely returning what was taken, I am adding the interest of heaven. You are about to walk into a season of suddenlies. Suddenly, the phone will ring with news that the case has been dropped. Suddenly, the bank will notify you of an error in your favor. Suddenly, the person who slandered you will be moved out of their position of influence. I am clearing the path. I am leveling the mountains of bureaucracy that have stood in your way. I am the God who moves the pens of kings. I am the God who remembers the forgotten. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the beneficiary of my covenant. Even now, the spiritual atmosphere around your household is changing. The heaviness is lifting, and in its place, I am clothing you with a garment of praise. I am restoring the joy of your salvation. Look at your hands, they will no longer be empty. Look at your heart, it will no longer be heavy. I am the great compensator. I am looking into the fine print of every contract and every agreement that has been used to bind you, and I am finding the loopholes of grace that will set you free. You have been faithful in the small things, and now I am making you ruler over much. The legal battles that have drained your energy and your resources are coming to a close, not with a whimper, but with a shout of victory. You will not have to fight this battle yourself. You need only to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. I am setting a table for you in the presence of your enemies. They will watch as I pour the oil of favor over your head until your cup runs over. They will see that you are the one I have chosen to bless. This is not for your vanity, but for my glory, so that all may know that there is a God in heaven who sees the humble and exalts the righteous. I am healing the trauma of the conflict. I am soothing the nerves that have been frayed by constant defense. I am giving you the spirit of a conqueror. You will walk with your head held high, not in pride, but in the quiet confidence of one who is fully backed by the kingdom of heaven. The resources of the universe are at my disposal, and I am directing them toward your restoration. I am turning the no into a yes. I am turning the stop into a go. I am turning the guilty into not guilty. I am your witness, your judge, and your redeemer. Rest now in the assurance that the machinery of my providence is working perfectly. There are no delays in my timing, only preparations for a greater manifestation of my power. You are being upgraded. You are being promoted. You are being vindicated. The very things that were meant to destroy you are being used as the foundation for your new house of blessing. I am making the crooked places straight. I am making the rough places smooth. Your future is not determined by the economy of this world or the opinions of men. It is determined by the word that has proceeded out of my mouth. And my word does not return to me void. It accomplishes everything I sent it out to do. You are the apple of my eye. You are the joy of my heart. I am moving heaven and earth to ensure that you arrive exactly where you are supposed to be, with everything you need and more. Breathe deeply of the air of freedom. The chains are falling. The gates are swinging wide. The verdict is in, and it is in your favor. Consider the legacy of your ancestors, the prayers that were prayed generations ago that are only now being answered in your life. I am a generational God, and I am settling accounts that have been open for decades. The unfairness that your parents or grandparents suffered is being rectified in your experience. I am breaking the cycle of lack and the cycle of legal entanglement. I am establishing a new precedent for your family line, one of favor, one of integrity, and one of supernatural protection. Even in your physical body, I am bringing justice. Where stress has robbed you of sleep, or where the weight of the world has caused tension in your bones, I am speaking peace, be still. I am the great physician, and I am restoring the health that the enemy tried to steal through the avenue of anxiety. You will notice a lightness in your step. You will notice a clarity in your mind. I am removing the fog of confusion that often accompanies unfair treatment. You will see things as they truly are, and you will have the wisdom to navigate the path ahead with precision. I am placing my words in your mouth. When you speak, people will listen, for there will be a weight of authority on your voice that was not there before. This is the mark of my favor. I am opening doors in the corporate world, in the community, and in the hearts of your neighbors. You are becoming a beacon of my justice, a living testimony that I am the one who rights every wrong. I am watching over the details you think are too small for me to notice. The lost receipt, the forgotten conversation, the misplaced file. I am bringing these things to light at the exact moment they are needed to prove your case. I am the God of the details. I am the God of the minutiae. Nothing escapes my gaze. I am weaving together a tapestry of events that will result in your complete and total exoneration. You have felt like you were in a wilderness, but the wilderness is where I prepare my leaders. You have been tested, and you have been found faithful. Now, the season of testing is transitioning into the season of manifesting. You will not have to beg for what is rightfully yours. I am causing the wealth of the wicked to be stored up for the righteous. I am redirecting the flow of assets and opportunities. I am the one who instructs the birds of the air to bring you bread. I am the one who commands the fish of the sea to bring you the coin for the tax. I am your source. I am your provider. I am your everything. Keep your eyes on me and do not look at the waves. The storm is losing its strength and the wind is dying down. You are arriving at the destination of your dreams, but it will be even better than you imagined, for it will be flavored with the sweetness of my grace. Wait, for I see the very moment your heart began to fail you, the afternoon you sat in your car, the steering wheel damp with your tears, wondering if truth had any currency left in this world. You looked at the stacks of legal notices and the cold, clinical language of the accusations and felt as though you were being erased. But I tell you, your name is not written in the fading ink of men. It is engraved upon the palms of my hands. Every line of that false testimony, every deceptive clause in that contract, I have read with a gaze that pierces through every shadow. Do not think that because I was silent, I was indifferent. I was the silent witness in the room where they conspired against you. I heard the hushed tones and saw the smug smiles of those who thought they had finally backed you into a corner. They did not realize that the corner they pushed you into was the very place where my power would be most clearly demonstrated. I am the God of the turnaround. I am the one who takes the very stones they intended to use for your stoning and turns them into the foundation of your new mansion. I am moving upon the hearts of those who have the power to decide. Even now, sleep is fleeing from the one who holds the key to your release. I am troubling their conscience in the night watches. They will find no rest until they do what is right. The very evidence that was hidden, the documents that were lost in the shuffle, are being brought to the surface by my hand. I am causing a sudden remembrance in the minds of those who forgot their promises to you. You have been like Joseph in the dungeon, forgotten by the cupbearer, but the king is about to have a dream that only you can interpret. Your wisdom, sharpened by the grit of this trial, is now a commodity that the world desperately needs. I didn't just save you from the pit, I used the pit to make you a ruler. You have worried about your reputation, about the stains left by the whispers of the malicious. Let me be the one who cleanses your name. I am your advocate, and I do not lose cases. When I speak, the accuser must fall silent. I am restoring the dignity that was stripped from you in the public square. I am putting a new robe on your shoulders and a signet ring on your finger. The shame you have carried like a heavy cloak is being traded for a garment of praise. I see the way you have still chosen to be kind even when you were treated with cruelty. I see how you shared your bread even when your own storehouse was running low. That seed of righteousness is now producing a harvest that will overflow your barns. You are entering a space where the struggle ends and the grace begins to carry the weight. Feel the tension leaving your shoulders. Breathe in the peace that surpasses understanding. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of the chapter titled Vindication. I am also looking at the generations that follow you. This victory is not just for you. It is a breaking of the cycle of injustice in your lineage. The legal entanglements that caught your fathers and mothers will not catch your children. I am setting a new precedent in your family line today. You are the one who stood in the gap. You are the one who refused to bow to the idols of bitterness and revenge. Because you kept your heart pure, I can entrust you with the abundance that is coming. I am opening the windows of heaven, and the rain of my favor is falling on the dry ground of your finances. Those who mocked you will come to you for assistance, and you will show them the same mercy I have shown you. This is the ultimate victory, not just to win the case, but to win the soul. I am giving you a heart of such depth that you can love your enemies, for you know that I am your ultimate reward. Think back to the secret prayers you offered when no one was watching. Think of the times you chose to stay silent rather than defend yourself with lies. I have bottled those prayers. I have recorded those moments of integrity. They are now being presented as evidence in the highest court. There is no appeal against my verdict. When I say you are free indeed. When I say you are blessed, no curse can stand against you. The atmosphere around your life is shifting from heavy to light. You will notice it in the way you wake up in the morning. The dread that has sat on your chest like a lead weight is being lifted. In its place, I am putting a song of deliverance. You will find yourself humming melodies you haven't heard in years. Your creativity, which felt stifled by the legal battles and the constant defense, is about to burst forth like a river in the desert. I am giving you new ideas, new strategies, and new connections. The people who were once obstacles will either be removed or converted into allies. I am orchestrating a divine alignment. You are not just recovering what was lost, you are receiving the interest and the increase. This season of lack was a setup for a season of overflow. I am the God of more than enough. I am looking at the impossible situations you've listed in your heart, the mortgage, the debt, the broken relationships caused by the stress of this trial. I am touching them all. Like a master weaver, I am pulling the frayed threads of your life and creating a pattern of beauty. The world will look at you and say, "Surely, the Lord has done great things for them." And you will smile not with arrogance but with the quiet confidence of one who has been through the fire and come out smelling like heaven. Rest now. Let your soul be at ease. The courtroom of the world is loud, but the sanctuary of my presence is quiet. In this quietness I am restoring your soul. I am healing the trauma that the injustice caused. I am erasing the memories of the insults and replacing them with the truth of my love. You are my beloved, and in you I am well pleased. The fight is over. The victory is won. Now, walk into the manifestation of what I have already decreed in the Spirit. As you step through the heavy doors of that place where you felt so small, notice how the atmosphere has shifted. The very floorboards that once groaned under the weight of your anxiety are now firm beneath your feet. I am the God of the breakthrough, and I am rewriting the narrative that others tried to pen against you. Think back to those nights when you sat at your kitchen table, the dim light of a single bulb casting long shadows over stacks of legal papers and unpaid invoices. You felt as though you were drowning in a sea of ink and technicalities. You wondered if truth still had a voice in a world that seemed to favor the loudest liar. I was there, sitting across from you in the silence. Every tear that hit those documents was a prayer I bottled, and every sigh of exhaustion was a cry I answered with my strength. I am now moving in the hearts of those who stood as your accusers. Watch as their confidence wavers. I am the one who confuses the wisdom of the world to protect the innocence of my children. The very evidence they intended to use to trap you is becoming the catalyst for your release. I am opening the archives of truth, revealing the things that were done in the dark, the whispers behind closed doors, and the hidden agendas that sought to strip you of your inheritance. You thought you had to fight for every inch of ground, but I am the Lord of the harvest, and I am reclaiming the fields that were stolen from you. Look at your hands. They are no longer trembling. I have infused them with the steadiness of my spirit. The signature you were forced to provide under duress, the contracts that were designed to bind you, I am nullifying them in the courts of heaven. When the earthly judge looks at your case, they will see something they cannot explain. They will see a favor that defies logic. It is not because of the eloquence of your counsel or the complexity of your defense. It is because the King of Kings has entered the room as your advocate. I am the one who silences the mouth of the lion. Do you remember the day you felt the most defeated? The day the news came that felt like a physical blow to your chest? I want you to revisit that memory, but this time, see me standing beside you. I was not a distant observer. I was absorbing the impact for you. The trauma that settled into your bones from years of being misunderstood and misrepresented is being drawn out by my light. I am performing a deep work of internal justice. True justice is not just about a verdict. It is about the restoration of what was lost within you, your joy, your creativity, and your ability to trust. The people who looked at you with pity or judgment will soon look at you with wonder. I am not just clearing your name. I am polishing it. I am taking the very accusations that were meant to stain your reputation and turning them into a testimony of my faithfulness. You will not have to say a word in your own defense. The peace that radiates from your face will be the only testimony needed. I am settling the accounts. The financial drain that this battle caused, the resources that were sucked into the void of legal fees and delays, I am commanding a supernatural return. I am opening windows of opportunity that were previously bolted shut. The impossible is my specialty. You saw a wall, I saw a door. You saw an end, I saw a beginning. The people who thought they had the final say are realizing that their power is limited, while mine is infinite. I am shifting the focus from your struggle to your success. I am bringing forth witnesses you didn't even know existed, people who saw the truth, people who were moved by my spirit to speak up when it matters most. The timing, which felt so delayed to you, is actually perfect. Had it happened sooner, you would not have been ready for the weight of the blessing I am about to pour out. I am healing the family dynamics that were strained by this trial, the arguments fueled by stress, the distance created by fear, the sleepless nights where you and your loved ones felt like strangers in the same house. I am mending those bridges. My peace is like a river flowing through your hallways, washing away the residue of the conflict. I am teaching you how to live in the after. You have been in survival mode for so long that you have forgotten how to simply be. I am reteaching you the rhythm of grace. Notice the subtle signs. The unexpected phone call that offers a glimmer of hope. The document that suddenly appears when it was thought to be lost. The change in the tone of your adversary's voice. These are the ripples of my movement. I am turning the hearts of kings like channels of water. No one can stand against the decree I have issued over your life. You are moving from the wilderness of litigation into the promised land of legacy. Stay in this place of surrender. Don't reach back for the weapons of your own making. You don't need to craft a rebuttal or plan a counterattack. Your silence is your strength, and your trust is your shield. I am dealing with the roots of the bitterness that tried to take hold of your heart. I am replacing the why with watch me. Watch me vindicate the humble. Watch me elevate the one who was cast down. Watch me prove that my word is the final word. You are entering a season where the sun will not set on your joy. The long winter of this dispute is melting away under the warmth of my favor. The seeds you sowed in tears, even the ones you sowed while your heart was breaking, are now breaking through the soil. They are not coming up as mere sprouts. They are coming up as a forest of provision. You will look back on this time not with pain, but as the moment you truly learned who I am. You are discovering that I am not just a God of the past or the future, but the God of your right now. I am the God of the breakthrough, and the breakthrough is already here, weaving itself into the fabric of your tomorrow. Even now, I am moving through the corridors where your name has been whispered in shadows. I am walking into the rooms where decisions were made without your consent, where pens were poised to strike against your future, and where the scales of man were tilted by greed. Do not fear the weight of the legal documents or the cold, sterile atmosphere of the halls you have had to walk. I was there in every deposition, standing beside you when your voice trembled. I was the steadying hand on your shoulder when the accusations felt like arrows aimed at your very soul. You felt alone in that arena, but you were surrounded by the hosts of heaven, waiting for my signal to act. The strategy of the adversary was to wear you down through exhaustion, to drain your resources until you had nothing left but despair. But they did not account for my infinite supply. They did not realize that while they were counting their silver, I was measuring your endurance and refining your character. This battle has never been about the earthly currency they seek to take. It has been about the spiritual authority I am building within you. Every sleepless night you spent looking at the ceiling, wondering how the truth could be so easily twisted. I was weaving the threads of a restoration so complete that it will leave your detractors speechless. I am the God who uncovers what has been hidden under the cover of darkness. I am bringing to light the emails, the conversations, and the ledgers that were meant to remain buried. There is a suddenness coming to this situation. Just as the tide turns in a single moment, the momentum of this conflict is shifting. You will see those who once stood against you suddenly find themselves confounded. I am troubling the sleep of those who have sought to harm you, not out of malice, but to bring them to a place of reckoning where they can no longer deny the truth. This is not just a legal victory I am orchestrating. It is a divine realignment of your life's trajectory. You have felt like you were stuck in a loop of defense, always explaining, always justifying, always trying to prove your worth to those who refuse to see it. That cycle ends today. I am taking the burden of proof off your shoulders and placing it onto my own. Your reputation, which you feared was tarnished forever, is being polished by my grace until it shines brighter than before the trial began. I am restoring the years that the locusts of litigation have eaten. I am replenishing the bank accounts that were drained by fees and the energy that was sapped by worry. Look at your hands. They are no longer tied. Look at your feet. They are no longer caught in the snares of the fowler. You are walking into a spacious place where the air is clear and the horizon is wide. The people who discounted you will have to watch as I set a table for you in their very presence. Not a table of pride, but a table of peace. They will see that the one they tried to break is the one I have made whole. I am working in the hearts of judges and mediators, giving them a discernment that exceeds their natural understanding. They will see through the smoke and mirrors of the opposition and find the core of justice that I have preserved. You have been a steward of integrity in a season of deceit, and that integrity is now your greatest advocate. Do not look back at the wreckage of the past months with regret. Every tear you shed was recorded in my book, and every one of those tears is being converted into a drop of oil for your anointing. You are being prepared for a level of influence that requires the depth of character you have gained in this furnace. The fire did not consume you. It only consumed the ropes that were holding you back. Feel the weight lifting from your chest. Breathe in the oxygen of my promise. The resolution will not come through the cleverness of human words, but through the sovereign move of my hand. I am opening doors that no man can shut, and I am closing doors that were leading you into traps. This is the hour of the great reversal. What was meant for your downfall is being transformed into your stepping stone. You will find that the very people who were obstacles are now becoming inadvertent instruments of your promotion. Trust the process of my timing. Though it seemed like I was silent, I was merely working in the silence to ensure that when the breakthrough came, it would be undeniable. You are about to witness the power of a God who defends the defenseless and upholds the cause of the righteous. Your family will see it, your community will see it, and even your enemies will be forced to acknowledge that my favor is upon you. This is your season of vindication, a time where the truth becomes the loudest sound in the room, drowning out the whispers of the accuser. Rest in the knowledge that I am your advocate, your judge, and your king, and I have already ruled in your favor. The gavel has not yet fallen in the earthly realm, but in the halls of eternity, the verdict is already etched in gold. You have spent months, perhaps years, looking over your shoulder, wondering when the other shoe would drop, when the next accusation would be hurled like a stone against your character. I saw you in those quiet moments, sitting at your kitchen table surrounded by stacks of legal documents, the light of a single lamp reflecting off the tears you refused to let fall in public. I saw the way your hands shook as you signed those papers, feeling as though you were signing away your peace. But I tell you now, those papers are being rewritten by the finger of God. The ink of injustice is fading, and in its place, I am scribing a story of absolute restoration. Think back to the moments when the lies felt so heavy you could barely breathe, when you felt the walls of the system closing in on you, designed to protect the powerful and silence the faithful. I was there in the gap. I was the silent witness to the conversations held behind closed doors, the secret meetings where they plotted to strip you of your dignity and your livelihood. They thought they were clever, covering their tracks with technicalities and shadows, but my light is piercing through the deepest darkness. I am bringing to the surface the evidence they thought was long destroyed, the emails that were deleted, the testimonies that were coerced, and the records that were falsified. Nothing is hidden from my sight. Even now, there is a shaking occurring in the camps of those who rose up against you. A spirit of confusion has entered their ranks. They who once spoke with such arrogant confidence are now finding their tongues tied, and their logic failing. The very traps they set for your feet are the ones they are now stumbling into. You do not need to fight this battle with the weapons of the world. You do not need to shout to be heard, for my voice is thundering on your behalf in the high places. I am touching the hearts of those who hold the pens of authority, the judges, the magistrates, the board members, and the investigators. I am causing them to lose sleep until they look at your case with fresh eyes, until they see the discrepancies they missed, and until the truth burns in their spirits like a fire. You have worried about the financial cost of this fight, the way your resources have been drained as you tried to defend your name. Do not fear, for I am the God of the overflow. I am not only going to win this case for you, but I am going to see to it that you are compensated for every sleepless night, every ounce of stress, and every dollar that was taken from you. The thief will be caught, and the law of my kingdom requires a sevenfold return. You are entering a space where the atmosphere is shifting from one of litigation to one of liberation. Your children, who have watched you navigate this storm with a heavy heart, will see you lift your head high once again. They will learn that their parents' God is a God of justice, a father who does not abandon his own in the thick of the fight. This experience is not your end. It is the refining fire that has prepared you for a level of authority you could not have handled before. You have learned to lean on me when all other supports were stripped away. You have learned that your identity is not found in a court's ruling or a boss's opinion, but in my unwavering love. As this legal fog begins to clear, you will see a new horizon. The doors that were slammed in your face by those who sought to harm you are now being replaced by gates of opportunity that lead into a broader place. I am restoring the years that the locusts of litigation have eaten. I am healing the trauma that has lived in your bones, the tension in your shoulders that has become your constant companion. Release it now. Breathe in my peace, for the battle is no longer yours. I have taken up the mantle of your defense. When you walk into that room again, you will not walk in alone. You will be flanked by the host of heaven, and the peace you carry will be so profound that it will baffle those who seek your downfall. They will look for fear in your eyes and find only the reflection of my glory. This is the moment where the underdog becomes the victor, where the silenced becomes the herald of truth. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. I am doing a work that will be talked about for generations in your family line, the time when the giants fell and the humble were exalted. The archives of your life are being cleansed of the stains of false testimony. Your reputation is being polished until it shines brighter than it did before the first lie was told. Trust that I am moving the pieces on the board in ways you cannot yet perceive. The breakthrough is not just coming, it is already at your door, waiting for the appointed second of my command. Rest your weary mind, child. Your advocate has never lost a case. You have carried the weight of a narrative that was not yours to own, a story written by the pens of those who intended to see you fail. But I am the great author, and I am crossing out those false chapters. I am taking the very accusations that were meant to be your chains and forging them into keys that will unlock the next level of your destiny. Do you not see it yet? The atmosphere around you is changing. The heaviness in your home, the tension that has simmered beneath the surface of every conversation, is dissolving in the warmth of my presence. I am reconciling what was torn apart by the stress of this legal battle. I am mending the frayed nerves and the strained relationships that suffered under the shadow of this uncertainty. Your name is being spoken in rooms you have never entered, not with derision, but with newfound respect as the truth begins to surface like oil on water. You are the head and not the tail, and even in this valley, I am preparing a table for you in the very presence of your enemies. They will watch as I pour the oil of my favor upon you, and they will realize that their efforts were not just against a person, but against a promise I made before you were even born. Be patient just a little longer. The dawn is breaking, and the shadows that looked like giants at midnight are being revealed as nothing more than smoke in the morning light. My justice is not just a concept, it is a person, and I am standing in your corner today, tomorrow, and forevermore. You have often wondered if I noticed the small humiliations, the snickering in the hallway, the way they stopped talking when you entered the room, the way they tried to undermine your work. I saw every one of them. I counted every sigh. I am now preparing a public honor for every private insult. Your vindication will not be a whisper. It will be a shout that echoes through the corridors of your industry and the hearts of your community. Even the very person who thought they had the final say over your career or your family's future is currently being moved out of the way to make room for my plan. I am not just winning a case. I am establishing a legacy of righteousness through you. You are the evidence that I am still the God who performs miracles in the midst of the mundane. When the final papers are signed, they will bear the mark of my intervention. The settlement will be more than fair. It will be restorative. Stay in the posture of gratitude, even now while the dust is still settling, for the victory is already yours. Do you remember the night you sat at your kitchen table, the glow of the laptop screen casting shadows against the wall as you stared at the legal documents you didn't understand? I was there, standing beside you, quieting the frantic beating of your heart. You felt like a small ship in a violent storm, tossed by waves of jargon and intimidation. But I have always been the master of the sea. The documents that once felt like a death sentence are being rewritten as a testament to my faithfulness. Think back to the meetings where your voice was silenced, where they spoke over you as if you were invisible. I saw the way you tucked your hands under the table to hide their shaking. I saw the tears you blinked back, refusing to give them the satisfaction of seeing your pain. Those tears were not lost. They were collected in my bottle, and they have become the rain that will water your new season of harvest. Look closely at the faces of those who sought to dismantle your reputation. I am not working with anger, but with an irresistible truth that will cause even your fiercest critics to reconsider their stance. There is a specific person, one who held the keys to the promotion you were denied or the contract that was unfairly terminated, who is currently finding themselves unable to sleep. I am visiting them in the quiet hours, not to condemn, but to convict, making it impossible for them to continue in their current course. They will find themselves compelled to offer you the very thing they vowed you would never have. This is not a coincidence. It is my hand orchestrating a reversal that defies logic. Your children have watched you walk through this fire. They have seen your integrity even when it cost you everything. By bringing this justice to pass, I am teaching them that the world's shortcuts lead to a dead end, while the path of the righteous leads to an inheritance that cannot be stolen. The financial restoration is coming, yes, but more importantly, the restoration of your sleep and your peace is already unfolding. You will walk back into those same buildings, those same hallways, not with a spirit of arrogance, but with a quiet strength that emanates from knowing you are defended by the Most High. The atmosphere will shift when you enter. The very air will feel different because the cloud of accusation has been lifted. You won't have to explain yourself. Your results, your character, and the manifest favor on your life will do all the talking. I am opening doors that were bolted shut and rusted with years of no. I am preparing a seat for you at tables where you were once told there was no room. This is the season of the great recompense. Every hour of sleep you lost, every dollar that was withheld, every word of slander that was whispered behind closed doors, I am calculating the interest. The more than fair settlement I promised is not just a figure on a check. It is a holistic healing of every area where you felt diminished. You are being positioned as a beacon of hope for others who are currently trapped in the same systems of unfairness. Your story will be the evidence they point to when they feel like giving up. You are the proof that I am the God of the breakthrough. Do not look back at the wreckage with regret. The fire only burned away the ropes that were binding you. You are emerging from this trial with a clarity of purpose and a depth of wisdom that could never have been forged in the easy seasons. The ink is drying on a new narrative. The gavel is falling and the verdict is in your favor. Breathe. Let the tension leave your shoulders. The battle was never yours to win, but mine, and I have never lost a case. You are moving into a space of abundance where you will no longer have to defend your worth, for I have already stamped it with the seal of my approval. Let us go deeper into the chambers of your heart where the old wounds still throb. I know the exact moment your confidence fractured. It was that Tuesday afternoon, the air heavy with the scent of cheap coffee and the coldness of corporate indifference, when you realized the people you trusted had turned their backs. I saw the betrayal as it landed, a physical weight in your chest. But I am the great physician, and I am suturing those wounds with threads of gold. This vindication is not just a professional win, it is a soul-deep validation. I am going back to the roots of your family tree, pruning the branches of lack and struggle that have tried to define your lineage. The legacy I am building through you is one of resilience. I am placing a new song in your mouth, a melody of triumph that will drown out the cacophony of the courtroom and the discord of the boardroom. Notice how the obstacles that once seemed like mountains are beginning to crumble into dust beneath your feet. The very people who ignored your emails will soon be the ones seeking your counsel. The systems that were rigged against you are being dismantled from the inside out. I am raising up unexpected allies, strangers in positions of power who will feel a sudden, inexplicable urge to champion your cause. They will see your name on a file and feel a nudge of my spirit to move it to the top of the pile. This is the hidden favor that operates behind the scenes, far beyond the reach of human influence. Think of the garden you have tended in the dark. You planted seeds of kindness while you were being mistreated. You spoke words of blessing while you were being cursed. Those seeds have not died. They were merely gestating in the fertile soil of your endurance. Now, they are breaking through the surface. You will see a harvest of respect that far exceeds the mockery you endured. The shame that tried to wrap itself around you like a heavy cloak is falling away, replaced by a garment of praise. I am even restoring the time you felt was wasted. All those years you spent stuck or held back, I am compressing the progress of a decade into a single year. You will find yourself accelerated into positions you thought were decades away. The legal hurdles are not just being cleared, they are being used as stepping stones to a higher platform. Every piece of evidence they tried to use against you will be turned into a bridge for your advancement. The truth is not just a concept, it is a person, and I am standing in the gap for you. I want you to look at your hands. They have been weary, they have been empty, but soon they will be full. You will hold the proof of my goodness. You will sign the documents not with a shaking hand, but with the steady resolve of one who has seen the glory of God in the land of the living. This restoration will touch your health, your relationships, and your mental clarity. The fog of litigation and the haze of uncertainty are lifting. You will see clearly again. You will dream again. The dreams you buried because they felt too painful to hold in the face of your reality are being resurrected. I am breathing life into the dry bones of your aspirations. The world told you it was over, but I am the Alpha and the Omega, and I am just getting started with you. Your story is becoming a roadmap for the brokenhearted. When they see the light returning to your eyes and the spring returning to your step, they will know that justice is not just a dream, but a divine promise. The settlement is merely the beginning of a lifelong outpouring of my grace upon your house. Peace, be still. The storm has served its purpose, and the shore is now in sight.